Histograms. So this is 13.3. One of the most common ways of representing a frequency distribution is by means of histogram. Histogram is very similar to a bar chart, but there's some important differences. There's no gaps between the bars, so you can see over here, no gaps. The numbers aren't exactly under the gaps. Why is that? Because it says histograms are used to show continuous data, e.g. Continuous time interval from 0 to 25, or in this case it's from 0 to 5. So if you wanted to put under the bar, you'd have to put 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, or so on. Okay, but you can see the 5 goes at the edge because that initiates it between 0 and 5, between 5 and 10, between 10 and 15, and so on. Okay. The area of each bar rectangle represents the frequency. So if you move on to further maths, it's not actually in the Leaving Cert either. The bars might be different widths, and that would have an effect on how many people are in it. But in our course, it's just going to be the same width. So it's actually quite simple. You will be asked again for the modal class. So I've already said that ours will be equal widths. So we have a look at this again. No need to take this down. It's fairly self-explanatory, but I'll just go through it. 50 children were asked to solve a puzzle. The table below shows how many times it took them in minutes. So 6 students took between 0 and 5 minutes, 10 students, 16 students, 12 students, and 6 students between 20 and 25. If you were to plot that, that's what it would look like. So use this now. Be very careful. Again, your axes, make sure that they're all evenly spread out. The horizontal axis shows time, each group, so you'd put the time on the horizontal axis. Number of children up on the vertical axis. Now draw the rectangles of bars for each class. If they ask you the modal class, okay, this is going back to our averages, modal. It's the one that appears the most. Some people might be saying, oh, 6, because 6 appears the most. No, it's the number of children, it's the time period that appears the most, and that's 10 to 15. Okay, 10 to 15 occurs the most because it occurs 16 times. And you can see that there. Alright, so all that's going to be in this is going to be asking you, it does ask you to draw one. Okay, it asks you to draw 2 actually in question 3 and in question 5. It does ask you question 8. Well, I don't know, I won't give you all 3 of those, but I will give you, this is due for Thursday, so you have a bit of time again. There'll be a couple to draw. I won't ask you to draw all 3, but most of them it's reading from it. Okay, so reading it carefully and making sure you understand it. So most of them shouldn't be an issue, but I do want to make sure that you can draw them as well. Okay, so that's histograms.